You heard I said, and you need to unplug. So do I. Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Journeys from Lagos to Brooklyn. My name is Donatella, and I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, co-host.
Bub.
And we're here to just talk about everything that you can imagine is going on under the sun.
Absolutely. Good evening. Welcome.
I know I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We almost went out without having this today.
Well, you know,
You had to perform special miracles to
absolutely.
get all the necessary equipment and everything we needed to make this happen. But just wanted to make sure we got this in. It was a big week. I think this was the first time in a long time I felt good.
Yeah,
Uh, Biden did a good thing for us yesterday.
absolutely, absolutely.
Getting our Jamaican sister.
And she's also an AKA. My mother's an AKA, and
Uh,
she was at home like, my
yes,
Sora, my
yes, yes.
Sora.
I tried not to get wrapped up too tough in um, who he was gonna nominate and
Mm-hmm.
trying to predict that, but clearly from the beginning I had a bias to Kamala, and
And why? Why do you like Kamala?
I went to Howard.
There you go.
She went to Howard. But what was funny was when I first came out in support of her, I had real intelligent pushback from some people that educated me about her record,
Mm-hmm.
and frankly, I didn't know about it back
Right.
then. So I took it serious. I read on it, and obviously I didn't like some of the things I saw. So, you know,
And do you?
I got soft on her a little bit. But I mean,
for
even
those
back then,
for those who aren't familiar with her background, do you want to share?
I'll let you go
anything?
into that part. I'll let you go. But I'm just saying, even back
No.
then, this was when we had all 10 of the people looking to run to
Run.
be president before Biden really got hot. I
Mhm.
think Bernie was my favorite.
I remember.
But even actually before Bernie, I think Kamala was my favorite. And then when I got soft on her, it became Bernie. And then when Bernie got shafted, then it became nobody.
Right.
But I think now that she's back in the spotlight in that driver's seat, I really like her, and I've put to rest all those stories and the history that she has behind her. I just think um, what are we gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be the VP, so let's get behind. Let's celebrate the great things about it,
Mhm.
and really and truly, it's not like she threw innocent kids in a cell. She didn't like separate family.
Right, right.
People that she
And
went after
deport people.
did certain things.
Right.
We're not talking about regular Joe Schmoes. Yeah, they're regular Joe Schmoes that did certain things
Yeah,
that got them
criminals.
into trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to hear it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just
You're ready to move forward.
move on.
So
Like,
that
I'm not with it. But how do you feel about it?
I would have to say that I'm super excited for a lot of different reasons. First of all, we're looking at a vice president that is a woman of color. So that's super exciting. And as you said, she's a woman of color who actually went to one of the historical black colleges. She is an AKA, which means she understands certain things about family and values.
Are
As
you an
far as
AKA?
I'm not, and my mother
How
hates
you
that
know
about
what
me
the
because my
AKA?
mother's an
Okay,
AKA.
okay. I was
My
gonna
mother's
say,
an
like,
AKA, and she constantly reminds me that I am not.
okay.
And all the things that she's been through. My father is a Q sci-fi,
Oh,
a
wonderful.
mega sci-fi.
Okay.
I have some uncles who are Masons. So it's what those
Masons.
things. Yeah.
What that got to do with
No,
it?
I'm just saying. I just there are different groups.
So basically, you're well learned. You
Yeah.
have a lot of diversity in your
Yeah.
family. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
things
And a lot of
going
my
on,
friends are
and it
Deltas.
rubbed off on you.
Well, it didn't rub off enough because there's a certain discipline, especially I think she pledged in the 80s.
Okay.
So there are
Your mom, that is.
No, Kamala.
Oh, okay. My
Right?
bad. Yes, yes, she did.
So yeah, she pledged it in the 80s.
80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and so they're showing, and then looking at her age group, she is, there's certain things that you think she represents as a woman of color. I was very intrigued to see.
Excuse us,
Master
we are
Tov.
in the restaurant.
So let's.
This is
I don't know if you
live,
guys don't know where we are.
a lot
We're
of nonsense goes
right,
on, but
right. We're
we will
in
press on.
Amarachi
Hey,
restaurant,
sorry,
and we're having business, which a lot of restaurants are not. So that's
Let's not talk about that part.
right, right. But no, back to what I was saying. I'm excited. And then they're already starting the jokes that where they're saying there's been a very long time since there's been a first man of a presidential race. So you know how Michelle Obama was considered first lady.
Yes,
So Kamala's husband would be considered a first man
true,
of
true,
the White House.
but not really.
Well, that's what that's the
Okay,
topic
no,
that's trending because he's the vice
it's
president.
not no, but that's nobody talks about the vice president's wife. Like she don't have a title.
No, but the vice
It's like why
president
is all of a sudden
because
Kamala's husband got a
because,
title?
because the
What
vice
this
president is a
that
woman.
has no.
Yeah.
I'm not buying.
No,
I'm not buying what
they've
they're
already
selling.
started.
I'm sorry, it's dumb.
Well, and I feel a little bit. I don't even
First
know.
man, what is
Yeah,
that?
a first
I mean,
man.
he does look goofy as hell, but still,
Does
like
he? I don't
first,
even know what he looks like.
yeah, Doug looks very goofy. I mean,
Don't say that.
quite frankly, knowing that Kamala went to Howard, I don't know how she ended up with Doug, but hey,
Is he African American?
absolutely not.
Oh, he isn't. I have no
Doug is
idea.
a white man.
Oh, well, he might have gone to Howard.
No, no, no,
I have
no,
some white
no,
friends
no.
who
Doug,
went to all black
listen, I have
colleges
very
on
cool,
minority
dope
scholarships.
white friends. Doug is not.
How do you
He's
know
not like
you
he's
don't know
not
him
on that level.
personally?
I could see him. I mean, I saw him yesterday.
You saw him yesterday.
I saw him
I
yesterday
did
on
not.
TV. No, Doug is goofy as hell. No, he did not go to Howard.
Really?
He's a regular,
Okay, so next week
nice,
when we come back, we're gonna find out where Doug went to
leftist,
school.
nice looking white man. That's about it.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what he looks like.
Yeah, he looks like he adopts black children.
Bob.
No, I mean he looks like
He doesn't have to adopt black children. He's a
I
black
said he
wife.
looks like.
Oh, the kind that do.
Yes,
Okay.
looks
Okay.
like. Looks like.
I just remember I did not
Philanthropist,
say
rich.
that. Oh.
Cares about disadvantaged people, that type of thing. Looks like a good guy. Yeah, once again.
Do you know
bells
every
going
time
off.
you hear a bell, an angel gets their
We're trying
wings?
to give you that real feel effect. We have music in the background, customers outside. You're getting the whole feel.
No customers inside.
No customers inside. Absolutely.
That is
Everything
key.
outside.
That is key. Okay, so who's our guest today? Do we have a guest?
I have a special guest, very good friend of mine.
Okay.
His name is Diddy.
Diddy?
No, it's not
The
Sean
Diddy.
Puffy Combs. No. This is Diddy of Brooklyn.
All right. There's
He's
a couple
an
Diddy's
entrepreneur.
in Brooklyn.
Great guy, and
right.
I want to talk about. That's what the show is about. Really, is it's about talking to everyday people living this COVID experience. Finding out how different people are coping with different things. So we have a few questions to ask him and
Excellent.
how he's managing through all of this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but before we bring him in, and I'm not sure, he's outside, how I'm going to send the SOS to have him join us. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? No. So, we have to check every once in a while to make sure we okay, thank you. Am I too loud? You sure?
Just rock on, girl. Why are you so nervous?
No, because he keeps saying stuff and I don't know what he's
don't
saying.
look at Nas. You see how he look at Nas one time.
Nasir is our producer. And he's like back there.
Don't look at Nas.
He's making me uncomfortable.
But you know what I think is funny? I think it's funny how all of a sudden, now that she's been nominated,
right,
all the Jamaicans are claiming her. Like,
oh,
big up, Jamaican flag everywhere. Now we get rock keys and rice. Nobody talked about her before this.
Absolutely
They didn't want nothing to do with her before she got nominated.
But you know what? But it's different.
So she got nominated.
It's gonna be Jamaican rice and peas in the White House.
Yeah.
Well,
they're changing the menu.
Yeah, but that's the funny
they're gonna
thing.
be seasoning their food.
Yeah. That's and there hasn't been any of that.
I don't
since
even think she can speak patois. I don't think she can.
But there are a lot of Jamaicans in America that don't speak patois.
I don't think Kamala can speak patois at all.
Not at all.
At all.
Not at all.
At
Let's
all.
invite her to our talk
And then
show.
you have the Indians.
What
Well, I
Indian?
don't know any Indians, but I'm assuming that they're also going to be claiming her too.
Why?
Her mother's Indian.
I have no
What
idea.
what what have you been doing?
Trying to stay alive during the pandemic. I don't know
Jeez.
what. I don't have a TV where I am, where I quarantine. I do
Her mother
have my
is
thing.
Desi. Abi, is it? They call it Desi or Devi. Desi. Yes,
Desi.
she's an Indian.
In,
Father is a black Jamaican.
wow.
Yeah.
And they made a beautiful, beautiful vice president.
So, maybe the Indians might start treating black people better now. Maybe. Because,
That's where I need a call out sign
I'm just saying,
above my
like,
head.
wink, wink.
Yeah.
They don't really
Well, some of them.
claim us.
Yeah. Well, some of us don't claim us either, so that's fine.
Okay.
I like the Indian people.
I'll take that. I love them. I love their food.
My hair is
I had a
Indian.
landlord. She was Indian. Great woman. I mean, they're really cool. Business wise. I mean, I really enjoyed them. I just never understood what the hang up was. Like, why don't you love yourself? Like, we're all.
Well, I think they do, but
you're part of us.
But I had a conversation with someone today. A friend of mine on Snapchat did a video. And what I saw was him walking next to a white female who was 7 months pregnant. And I was like, another brother.
Who, he was Indian?
No, the guy is black.
Oh,
but
I thought we were talking about Indian.
No, but we are. So he explained to me that the person that I was looking at appeared to be white, but she actually was black. And he said she was Dominican, Indian, and something else.
Okay.
And so she was black. And I was like, I don't think
black
so.
is a state of consciousness.
Well, it is now. Everybody
It's
wants to be
always
associated with something black.
It's always has been. I don't have a problem. Listen, I don't have a problem with that white lady that call herself black. I don't have a problem with her.
Oh, the one that used to be the head of the NAACP?
She went to Howard too. Yes, I have no problem with her.
Her parents had a problem though. Her siblings.
Yeah, she was cursing them. She was disowning them. I would too. But other than that, she was fantastic.
He's saying, "Look at your phone."
This is why I don't understand what we need a teleprompter.
See?
You got to hold up a big sign. Okay, got it.
Yeah, awesome.
Got it.
Excellent producer.
Guys, we are working out the kinks. Please just have fun with us. This is not about you critiquing us and how good our show is or how bad it is.
Because trust me,
we are having a good time.
Yeah.
We are.
This is our
taking
pivot
advantage.
in the pandemic.
Exactly. We've been cooped up in the house for so long. This is just a way we're dealing with what we've had to go through. So please enjoy the process with us.
Right. I have a question though. Why are you only texting Bub? You're not sending me anything.
Listen, let's not start, okay?
You guys, you're watching this, right?
Let's not start, okay? Next thing you know, it's gonna be something else. But yes, well, there's So now let's talk about the caste system and that exists not just in India, but everywhere. It's in the Hispanic community, Latino community. The darker skin you are, the more ostracized, the more persecuted. Brazil.
Even in Asia, when I went to Singapore and to Tokyo, I was surprised that when you look at the billboards for advertisement, and even in Japan, the people who were in modeling were the ones who had more fairer skin, like white skin.
I just don't understand why
the entire world's like that.
Dark-skinned people have been demonized so miserably throughout history. I mean, we're one of the most accommodating, nicest, people. The hospitality. When you go to Africa, strangers cook for you, bring you food. They want to get, for nothing, just out of just the kindness of that. Where did we get this bad rap where nobody likes us?
Well, I think it's in everything that we see. So like I had a conversation with someone today and I said to him, there's so many different topics that are I think people are biased by. So I asked him, I said, close your eyes And then picture a criminal. What do you see in your head? I was talking to a black man, right? And I said, you may not see a black man because you are a black man, but usually when you talk about death, you talk about evil, it's all, everything is
It's
dark
programmed.
because the way we've been
Program.
programmed. You know, like it's a huge ink blot. Even the ink blot that they tell you to look at on a piece of paper and imagine what it is a black ink blot.
Why did the program? Okay, why do the programmers hate us so much?
Well, because it's a sense of power. Like, you know, if you think about purity, look at the lights that shine that are bright. They're all white. They're all clear. And I think it's just a way to keep them feeling superior because there's really more of us here, I think, than there are whites.
Absolutely.
You know, like they say by what I forget what year it is. If people keep having interracial relationships at the rate that they're having it,
Mhm.
right? There won't be a white race eventually, right? Because aren't all the Anglo Saxons are like really gone, right? All the pure white people, which is why you have so many fights, I think, through this whole Black Lives Matters and the people who want to hold on to their Confederate flags and
To,
things
to
of
be
that nature.
to be honest with you, hey guys, can you hand him a mask so he can go to the restroom? It's right by the podium. It's right by the podium. Okay.
He has a
No,
mask.
we have free masks there at the podium.
He has one at his table.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
And see, so we are
So
multitasking,
I plug that in real quick, right?
talking to you guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't come here without a mask. You cannot go to the toilet.
Absolutely not. We will stop you. You will pee on yourself if you try to get in here without a mask. Anyway, um, thank you.
Thank you.
Um, that I honestly I didn't I don't study white history anymore. I think I've studied they've pushed it down our throat for so long. I'm not really concerned with what their stuff is. I'm more
Right.
concerned with our stuff and how we deprogram this negative uh feeling, this negative belief is more of a belief in ourselves.
Right.
It permeates through government, the way we deal with each other, business, interpersonal relationships, our love life.
Hmm.
It affects everything. And listen, it breaks my heart. My kids love everything Asian. Fuji Chaka whatever.
Cut that
All
out.
we watch is and I just wish they were watching some African
Well, I think
shows,
we
and
don't
I
have
cannot
enough.
get
But
them. We don't. And once again, whose fault is it? We don't have. I scour YouTube looking for cartoons or
yeah,
content,
yeah,
video games with. We don't
that look like
produce
us.
content.
Yeah,
We don't produce content. We don't produce enough content to even have a fair shot,
at
at
representation.
competing in the marketplace against these other cultures. And listen, it affects my kids when they buy clothes. They're not looking to go to Mashoud. They have me
Yeah.
ordering stuff from South Korea, which is not cool, and that's what I mean. Like, our economic base, everything concerning us is affected by the way we perceive ourselves,
Hmm.
um and we have
I
to
think
figure
we
out how to deprogram.
But I think with this movement and keeping up the momentum of what's happening now, I think it's actually acceptable. Like, I was reading that right now, black owned restaurants are seeing a surge in, people visiting in terms of like the diversity of
Yeah,
the crowd,
yeah.
in companies wanting to invest. And they're actually saying that now that it's
You want
so
to
so
invest
popular,
right here? I
now that
need it.
it's so popular to like eat culture. I mean,
There should be an Amarachi in every city in the world. Every city.
I believe you. I believe you.
I,
I
that's what
agree.
investor. If you're out there looking, check out what we're doing. We need an Amarachi in every city on the planet.
Yeah, and what's cool about Amarachi though is it's family oriented on certain times of the day. Like you could come and bring your
Is it
kids.
really family oriented? It's not really.
You see families here
It's no,
eating.
no. Let me describe what you feel. You describe people that accept you and love you, and don't prejudge you because you're dark skinned. You see people
Yeah.
that see dark skin and don't run away from it. You see people that want to embrace that dark skin.
Yeah, but I mean,
So you feel familiar. You
you also
feel
see
we
whole
smile at
families
you.
coming.
You know, we don't you walk in the door and run the other way, or look at, because you know how you walk into a store and you have three salespeople there and they all looking at each other like, okay, who's gonna take the black guy? You know,
Well,
because
I
the
think
black guy
that the
probably ain't
thing,
got no money. He probably got bad credit. So you're
right?
wasting your time. I used to work in the dealership all
Mhm.
the time. You see black people come in the door, Joe.
They call you.
Yeah,
Come talk to your people.
talk to your people. You know,
Yeah.
so I think that's the so because the program isn't really like we show kids shows here, or we have a section for cartoons, or it's an adult environment, but we won't. There's nothing that we're doing that's inappropriate. I try to make sure all the music you hear is
Yeah.
rated PG. I try
Right.
to make sure we have something that a child can eat that's not always so spicy.
Hmm.
But so I don't think it's like, don't come thinking bringing your 18 kids and they're gonna have this amusement park type fun. It's not
No,
like that.
but it's a safe
But it's just a
environment
familiar,
where
safe
you
environment.
can
Yes,
bring your kids because
absolutely.
we
We
see
love
that.
the kids. We love the
Yeah.
kids. So and that's I think that's the point. We're just trying to say that we love who we are, and we
Hmm.
love. No, when I say who we are, uh, we look at people as general. We love good people. You could be from anywhere in the world,
Mhm.
and that's why I say as a consciousness. If you're about goodness and positivity, we're about that.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're gonna move into bringing Diddy up. I want to talk to Diddy.
Yeah. So, would you like to get Diddy for us? So, while Diddy is on his way,
Sure.
do you want to kind of give any backstory, or just do that when he gets here?
Oh, I
And
did. I did
we
give a little backstory on
we need
Diddy.
the mic.
I did give a little backstory.
Nasir, excellent. You can just walk straight through.
You can take your mask off, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when Nasir moves, you can join us. He's gonna give you a mic. You don't have to sing.
Ghost is in the
Careful, careful, careful,
background,
careful.
but Ghost didn't come is here today.
Oh, but guess what I learned today?
What?
Ghost has 20 years experience in audio visual.
Of course.
Oh,
What doesn't Ghost have experience in? That's why I call him Ghost.
welcome,
He's
welcome
a
to the
chef. He's
show.
what? Next week, Ghost. Next week, we'll get into you. Next week, yes. Diddy, what's up? How are you, man? Welcome to from Lagos to Brooklyn. Can you hear me? There's no audio on Diddy's mic.
Maybe it's wasn't on.
How about now?
How about now? There you
It was
go.
not on. Yes.
So I was saying, thank you, brother, and hello.
And
Hi.
hello.
Oh,
Diddy. So way back when Amarachi was being developed, being built, um, Ghost actually introduced me to Diddy.
really?
At the time, Diddy had a
Ghost,
barbershop.
Ghost is like, why am I not in this
Yes,
scene?
yes. He didn't come here today.
He's got braids.
so Diddy had a barbershop back then. And it was a melting pot. One thing about me and all my friends,
Mhm.
I track people that are we're similar in that we are, I believe, centers of our universe.
Okay.
So we are right here, and we are surrounded by we are helping people, we're employing people, we're doing So all my best friends are kind of like that. So he right off the top, I was like, this is a guy that I'm gonna have a lot of relationship with,
Yeah, commonality.
because you walk into his barbershop and He's selling candy. He got lotto going on,
This is this is
mixtapes,
this is in
bean
Brooklyn.
pies.
In Brooklyn, yes.
In Brooklyn. Had his family in there, and we just hit it off. He was a guy that was about family, about helping his people, and a young entrepreneur, which are very rare.
Yeah.
When you think about it, we were in our 20s or early 30s. You know,
No, we were in our 20s.
20s. Yeah, we were in our 20s. So two guys that were not in the system. We were both trying to make it in this world, on our own. And at the time, I was a Christian,
You were
and
you were what?
I was a Christian,
Oh,
and
this is
I
before the Babalawa. Is
will
that how
get
you
into
say it?
all of that.
Okay.
Um, I invited Diddy to church,
Did you go?
so
I went.
this was my church partner,
Oh, that's nice.
my,
Okay, thank you.
it's my church buddy. So me and my wife, at the time, my partner,
Mhm.
and him and his wife, at the time, his girlfriend.
Mhm.
Used to go to this church called CCC. We used to wake up.
CC is
Everybody in Brooklyn knows
CC. Yes,
CCC.
it's huge.
So we used to go to CCC, and as I started pulling back, they went forward with it. So and they were blessed. They have a wonderful life. Their business blossomed. Everything good happened to them. So
That's great.
he's grown. He's now owner of an extermination business, which we use here frequently. Diddy treats this place like it's his living room. He's always in here doing what he got to do, keeping that A on the glass. Making sure we're taken care of. And so I wanted to bring him on today to talk about really how he's coping in this time of COVID. How has life changed? One, from your business perspective, how has it changed in the business? And then socially, how are you making it?
Well, from a business aspect, a lot of restaurants, a lot of my businesses did shut down and haven't returned yet
Mhm.
to this day. But we're still growing. We're, like you said, we're blessed, and God has been really good to us. And every day the phone lines are ringing, and I
That's
thank
good.
God for that. And we're okay. And when things get back rolling, we'll be in a better position.
What
But
as a business owner, what do you think has worked for you as a businessman? What's the model? What's the one advice you would give an up and coming person in any kind of business? What has worked for you?
honesty, loyalty, and honesty. Being honest to my customers, and being flat right, straightforward. If you have a dirty home, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
talking about the
I,
extermination.
when
Wow.
it comes,
Okay.
yes, because I'm an exterminator. I speak on it. I tell you how to clean. I tell you you can do better in certain areas. It's just being honest and straightforward.
Absolutely,
And even though you might get a laugh out of it, at the same time, you respect it.
absolutely,
You know.
absolutely,
And when I speak, it's from the heart. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I
That,
want you to
that's the
help me help
difference.
you.
Right.
absolutely, and keep them safety, especially now with all the diseases going on. If you don't have if you have a lot of pests and a lot of vermin running around, that can trigger a lot of respiratory issues in some people. So you don't want to further complicate your situation by having an untidy home or
Correct.
business. So it's very important to keep that in mind. Let me ask you about sports. I know we're big sports fans. Um, with NBA coming back, baseball, football, how do you think that's affecting how people cope with this stay at home?
Well, for me personally, it's like a transition. Right now, it's like you got to get the COVID out of your system. Meaning like mentally, you got to once uh, you look at it on YouTube or you look at the news. Now they're starting to downplay it a lot more. Now, the COVID is dying down somewhat because it's less spoken about. Like if you search it on YouTube, you gotta really search it before if you click on your homepage, like it's there. Now, now that it's dying down, now you can start looking at.
So do you think there's an agenda behind COVID? Do you think there's a reason? Is it
Yes,
is it being forced?
I believe it's politically.
Okay.
Actually, I believe it's politically because I listen to Trump. I listen to everyone, and Trump said, "Oh, it's gonna die down. It's gonna mysteriously, magically disappear," and it's happening. It's magically disappearing. He said, he's gonna stop the testing, and the numbers will die down, and it's happening. Things like that. So we stopped testing, and now you hear about it less. Now schools are opening up.
So you think is like a political football being played with politicians
Yes,
to
it's
control whatever agenda that they specifically
exactly.
have.
And
Okay.
now it sounds like, hey, this guy was right. Hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. So he's kicking off. This is the real sport. This is the real football, the real basketball, the real passing games. He's playing the game. It's political. So this the sports is more like a watered down mental uh,
Like a
blockage.
pacifier
Yeah,
type thing.
they stick the pacifier in the mouth and let me let me let me finish doing what I'm gonna do to them mentally. By the end of the day, they'll vote for me. By the end of the day, they won't vote at all. And that's what he really wants. He wants black people to not vote at all. And he'll run with it.
Like it's
Stop.
a distraction.
It's definitely a distraction. Playoffs are starting. By the time November 3rd, we'll be by the time November, what is it, November 3rd?
November
Yeah.
3rd.
By the
Yes.
time November 3rd come, we'll probably be in the championship. They done pushed it back. You know what I'm saying? There'll be the Lakers against the Clippers, and then the Clippers going for Toronto. And,
Absolutely.
you know, so by that time, we forget about it. We're not going. Then baseball starting, and then football is here. So they got it all right there ready to just. And then the mail in ballots, and they are playing with us so heavily, tricking us so deeply.
Some of us, I think.
Some of us.
Yeah.
But we don't know how we can't count. We can't count the many
Now
because
let me ask you: do you plan on voting for Trump?
no, hell no.
I have
Because
to
it
ask.
kind of sound like,
I have
for
no.
a
I have
minute,
to
I wasn't
ask.
sure if you were saying, because you're like, what he said is coming
Yeah, what
No,
he
true.
said is coming
but
true.
you
So
see,
he's tricking the people.
exactly.
He's
Yeah.
not
So
tricking me, but the
Oh,
people
okay.
is
So,
getting
yeah,
tricked.
okay.
no,
So that's what's wondering.
that's why I have to ask a question to clarify because you find there's so much misinformation going around, and at the
Absolutely.
end of the day, the question is, no matter what you believe, whether he's responsible or not responsible, are you going to vote for him?
Yeah, that's
And
the
that's
kind
the
of thing.
most important issue that we want to get the point across that yes, however we do it, we must vote and we must vote against him.
Right. But how many votes count nowadays? We got a mass incarceration. We let out half the people who was on like, oh, I don't know how many people got let out. They still can't vote, or I don't know if they can, but I don't think they can. Then you
Yeah.
got the
You
people.
can, you talking about people who
That can
have
vote.
criminal
Trump doesn't have
criminal
the
background?
numbers to win
No,
in
but
any
he
way.
hijacked the election the last time.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know.
that's what Michael Cohen is saying. Michael
Yeah.
Cohen is I was just reading that his book is coming out
Yeah.
and he was saying that Trump stole the last election
Yeah. So what's gonna
with
be
help
different?
from Trump, and that Trump doesn't plan on leaving office peacefully. Like
No.
you're gonna have to drag this man out of there.
And I think we're seeing the foreshadowing, right? So first he did this whole brouhaha when Biden said, oh, he's going to try to delay the election. Oh, I'm not going to try to delay election. Why would I do that? November 3rd is a great day, whatever that means.
Beautiful number.
Right. So now all of a sudden it's I don't think we can do the mail-in ballots. And remember, the mail-in ballots were huge because we were talking about stopping the spread of COVID, not putting people
In
in
jeopardy.
situations where they would be in danger, where there's a high chance of infection. Because you look at what happened in what state was that? Ohio, where all those people went to, I guess,
The
his platforms
primaries.
in the
Yeah.
primaries, and the amount of people who were infected afterwards, the members of his own office who were infected. And a huge question is, how are so many people around him in his political party
Keep going.
being infected and he isn't? Right at this point, do you remember a couple of months ago when he had to go to the hospital and they wouldn't release what was wrong with him?
Oh, nothing was wrong with him. Remember, his doctor said he was perfect.
Right, but I don't think that's true.
Right, he eat cheeseburgers all day,
Listen,
but he's fine.
my you know, my personal belief is that he He has immunity in some form or fashion.
You think he has a cure?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
So what's the vaccine then? What's the
Absolutely.
vaccine? 100 million
This is this
vials.
is
What are they
this is
flushing down our
all
system? What
to
is it?
me. This is all just listen. The way they've been so callous and nonchalant in not social distancing, not wearing masks. You're talking about something that killed 160,000 people.
Right.
You guys are that tough
And your own brother that
that
you
your whole
invested.
cabinet, all the
Yeah.
people that y'all, none of y'all even got sick. None, zero, none of y'all. And y'all traveled all over the place. Y'all come in contact with people all. I believe certain people were injected with a vaccine
To,
from
to
go.
like human trials.
No, from go. Some people they knew. Listen, and then the fact that this is like a smart drug. This thing targets old people and black people.
Well, I
It's a
think
smart disease. This is a smart pandemic. So to me, this is all an orchestration. And if
to depopulate.
if we understand this man doesn't want to leave office, I have to believe this is part of his plan for him not to leave office at the end of the day. Because how can you be so inept? Look at the way he handled this thing from
Look,
day
But
one.
he's always been that way, even from back
Trump,
when they
I
had
guarantee
his
if you
show.
met him, he ain't a dummy. Trump, he's not a dummy. Trump is
But
a
I
New
don't.
Yorker.
But I don't think he's no. And that's
You see what I'm
why so
saying?
many. You know, I talked to some of my friends who reside in like the hood areas. The reason why some people really like him is because he doesn't care about anything. He's really like in the White House like a gangster. He's not worried about what you have to say. He makes his own rules. Look at his vocabulary. Half the time you can't even
But why would
you can't
anyone like that?
but it's not that they like him as a person because I had these conversations. They just have a respect for him because he does
Why would anybody respect that?
whatever he
listen, the
wants.
He's a
only way
clown.
he can get respect is if he have a vaccination for this drug. They came out with this
And
with
it's free.
free, whether it's $1 or whether it's $100 or whether it's mandatory to take and it's free. Yes. All right.
But that's what they're
But
getting to, I think.
right. So you come out with the cure for the virus, you win. Come out with the cure before November 3rd, you win. So that's what he's racing for. They have it
That's
sitting
what they're
here. That's what
trying.
they're gonna do.
And what was funny to me is Russia announcing that they have a cure. So once again, I see Putin is always playing with him. It's like he's toying with him. You know how you
Yeah.
have a bully that can beat you up anytime he wants to? That's Putin.
Slapping around.
He'll go away and then whenever time he'll just reappear and
Mhm.
start bitch smacking you. Like, no, you don't have it. I have the cure.
Right, right,
Right.
I got the cure.
Yeah.
right.
And look at him. He ain't say nothing.
No. No.
When has he ever said anything to Putin? Nothing.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, Putin's killing Americans." Trump, what do you have to say? Nothing.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I see no evil. I hear no
hearsay.
evil.
Yeah.
That's really scary though. So let me ask you a different question. I am of the mindset that everybody's outside right now, kind of doing whatever it is they're doing. I think we're going to be back inside for the winter, like a lockdown.
You see, that can happen. It can
You said it
happen.
can or
It
cannot.
cannot happen only because Trump's agenda is for us to be out free. He already got Cuomo,
That's so you can vote.
but he got Cuomo on the same page. See, Cuomo is playing a game too. You understand?
Absolutely.
Cuomo, it looks like he's for the people, but at the end of the day, he's for Trump. Maybe Cuomo will be running for president after
Well,
Trump is done in
I
the
said
next
that a
4
long
years.
time ago.
It's true.
If you watched how Cuomo moved this whole time, he's setting himself up
Absolutely.
to
Exactly.
run for president.
At the same
Yes.
time, he opened up the schools, which is so deadly, so common
No,
sense.
but
It's not right.
But the schools you have the ability, and it's based on the district. You can go in the school, you can work
Just to give us
virtually,
the
or you can do a
option.
You
hybrid.
can't go into a restaurant to eat, but you can let your kids go to school
Right.
for 6 to 8 hours with
Right.
other kids,
And give them
other
options.
snot
But
those
here's
kids.
but you know what I think.
Really?
But did you listen to the policy that they said? Your kids can go to school if if one kid gets let's say becomes positive, right? Then that it's not such a big thing. But if they start to see a trend, what I read is that they think they're letting kids go back to school so that they can do a mandatory vaccination on the kids that
Sound
are
like
in
a
school.
mandatory
To
trial
yeah, to
of error.
quarantine them. To quarantine them.
But
They-
it goes to the same idea. They're creating another pandemic in that
Yeah.
Exactly.
not
So he
only
gave
can
it a
they not
percentage,
yeah not
and he
only
gave it a
can they
five
can
percentage.
they do the vaccine, but they can now mandate, like you said, everyone go back home. A
Yeah.
shutdown.
But I think we're gonna have a shutdown in anyway. It, if you look at the people who are outside, and I've been outside some too, the majority of places I go, people are not wearing masks. If you go to Long Island, sorry, Long Island, it's like a free for all. People are outside right on top of each other, drinking,
Now,
smoking,
how are
having
you going
fun.
to get those? This is why the problem I have with it. How are you going to get those people to shut down?
No,
They're
this is the
not. They're
problem.
not going to.
The
Oh,
problem.
yeah, they are. Because when they start getting those fines, they will shut down. You see
That's what it
the
is.
gym that's in New Jersey.
We're
So
talking about regular people.
what
I'm
do you
not even
mean?
See,
talking about the
Oh,
businesses in
but
Long
regular
no.
Island.
people will go back
And
inside when you start harassing them with NYPD the way they did before. You can say whatever you want.
Right now, it's a money thing. They want to implement fines. They want to say, hey, travel ban. They want to say if you come to New York, you get a $2,000 fine if you leave out the airport. They want to say $1,000 fine if you don't have your mask. It's all about money. At the end of the day, you have a million people marching. No one got the virus.
How do you know that?
Or out of a million people, I mean, like, even if
nothing
a
huge,
thousand got the virus, I
nothing
mean, like, come
horribly
on, like,
happened.
a million.
Nothing really
We
No,
horrible
I
look at
get
us
happened
right now.
from the march.
I get it. So
My thing is
I
this:
get it.
the effect. I'm not saying like you gotta be an eyewitness of a person getting the COVID. But you got people in hospitals, employees that's not contracting it.
That's some, and then
Some
you have some. I personally have friends that are nursing managers in some of the New York City hospitals, and they were tested positive. Their protocol: go home for 7 days, and they are actually working in the hospitals
my
with
point is
COVID.
that they're not dying, and
But do they have underlying issues? It's they always said it's the people with
But
underlying
it's
issues.
not even. Listen, yes, you have underlying issues, but that's not really why most people die. Most people die because of the
the
ventilators.
ventilators. The ventilators,
Yeah,
the
because they
crime.
did. Yeah, they
That's
didn't
the
know
real
That was
how
the
crime.
to.
most that
Yeah.
The most
well, you see, this
stupidest
is
idea.
but this is the thing, and this is why I say you can't listen. I know we're not supposed to say these things, but this president was advocating ventilators. This
Exactly.
governor was telling us this is what we needed,
Right.
Yeah, but they also sent them back.
and made families rush to the hospital
Exactly. And then
and
they
put
gave us
their
a
family
percentage.
members in harm's way.
What's the percentage
And
of
then they
coming
were
off of a
listen,
ventilator?
not
Oh,
only
it's
percent,
very
they were
low.
paying them
Huh?
Very
$30,000
low.
for every
Like
patient
80% no?
I
of
don't.
coming off.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
it was only 3% people
So
survive.
97% no.
Die, yes.
Yeah.
Even worse.
But a
No,
lot of that was
yes,
a lot
97%.
of that was less about using the actual ventilator, but proper training of the individuals who were using it,
Time out.
which is the same thing. So remember, half of these people were brought in for somewhere else, and they told you the problem was not the ventilator, but the what's the term? No. What's the term when the person goes? It's not. It's like that. Not incubation, but what was it? There was a term for when a person went on the ventilator and the way that the wires, the tubing is applied to the body. That's where people were making the mistakes in the beginning, and they told you the
Intubation.
incubation. So the incubation,
Intubation.
intubation is what was killing a lot of people because they were improperly
No.
intubated.
No,
No.
that's not what was going
Once you're intubated, you're intubated. Once
that
you're
wasn't
intubated,
what the problem was. There was several problems. So many people's lungs were filled with mucus
Mhm.
that they couldn't get oxygen into the lungs because they couldn't get the mucus out of the way. So some people just suffocated. You just end up suffocating to death. And that mucus, the longer, when they put the ventilator on you, you're not really using your lungs. So your lungs loses the memory, the action of what it does. So
Mhm.
now when they try to kickstart it back, it doesn't quite do the same
The
thing.
same job.
And then your internal organs don't have enough oxygen to be able to operate.
Exactly.
So
Right.
they
Well,
start
now,
shutting down, and then your
exactly.
brain
So the
shuts
real
down, your heart
cure is
shuts down,
not
you have heart, So these are all these things,
exactly.
problems with the whole ventilator. And what I'm saying, my problem is, you saw what China went through. You saw what Italy. Y'all had no intelligence. You had nobody to really study what was going on in those countries before it got here to know that you can't do certain things.
Well, but you have to remember that healthcare is huge business here. So I have a client who's from Korea. And in Korea, they learn from small. If you have a cold or whatever, you wear the mask. Not that it stops the passing of the germs, but it keeps your germs to yourself. But on top of that, in Korea, when there is this type of bacterial infection widespread, Korea provides a get well package to each individual. People know they quarantine, they get a box. She sent me a picture of it, and it has all the things you need to clear the system while you are quarantined. And our government didn't do
And this
that.
is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Exactly.
that's the problem.
Listen, you have intelligence. We have the CIA, we have the FBI, we have people that have relationship with doctors in other countries.
But it's
Yeah,
big
we
money.
acting like we didn't never
Third
heard of
world
that
country.
thing
We're a third world
until it
country right
hit
now when it comes to
it hit Brooklyn.
coronavirus.
That's ridiculous. This thing was out for months. There should have been people that studied it. The government should have given Americans an action plan to weather the storm.
Right.
Not even to cure, just to weather the storm. Where you should have been able to go to look. They know how to dish out these vaccines at CVS. Go to CVS, pick up a mask, pick up sanitizer,
But
stay
but
away.
it's big
Right.
This
business. It's big
Even
business.
so
if
it's
it's
big
big
business to
business, when
kill
you
people.
when you quarantine and you should have a code. Quarantine, you're gonna do this, that, and that,
There
and
was
that
no
while you're
national plan.
quarantining.
There
Not
was
just lay down in your
nothing.
bed.
These guys are telling us this guy's telling us that, while people are dying. So at the end of the day, like I said, we don't know what is what. And the scariest part for all of us is that we can't predict the future. I know people right now that are going through literal mental breakdowns. People are running away from home. People are like, they're scared. They've become paranoid of coming outside. People are seeing, you know, spirits, demons. They're having anxiety attacks
Right.
Well,
because of the fear of
it's
the unknown.
it's so I'll tell you something personally that's been happening to me since the pandemic, and I kind of joke about it. But when I started coming outside, even when I started coming here, and my closest friends, I'll say it to them. I got to the point where when I went around a group of people, I started feeling like pins and needles, kind of like on my skin. And so I made a joke to my closest friends, and I'm like, I don't know if it's me mentally and I've just developed some type of, I don't know, psychosis. I don't know what the proper word is. But every time I started going around people, I literally felt like little pins sticking me, as if I think I can feel the COVID, going, penetrating my skin.
Can I say something? What
Absolutely.
I'm worried about the most out of the coronavirus is, what is that app when you can see all the crimes?
Citizen.
Citizens Act.
Mhm.
Now, that's the scariest thing. All I see is crime, um, and I see that the police are barely working,
They're
and
Well,
I
that's
say
upset.
that was
they're
because of
very upset.
defunding.
And even if you don't defund, I don't even care. Don't defund the police. Where's the buyback gun program? Where's the other things?
There's
Let the
nothing.
police have their money. Who cares? There's so much money out
I
here.
I I,
Just
I
give us
care.
more to do other things. The police are gonna. We don't want to upset them, even though, because when we upset them, they do things like don't want to patrol or
Well,
don't care anymore.
Don't care.
We need them to care, and then we can't have
But you
half of
see,
them
but
caring
you,
and half of them not.
we can't allow them to say we only care if we're allowed to choke you to death.
Right. So, but when
That's
they say,
unacceptable.
but when they say that they don't care and they're not working, isn't that like a terrorist act on
Of course
your
it
own
is. Of
state,
course
like
it
your
is.
own
But Republicans get
homeland?
this is what I'm saying. Republicans get to pull this card on Americans all the time. Even the fact that people are flying the Confederate flag. Guess what? The Confederacy is anti-American at the end of the day. But Republicans get to use these things,
right.
and America does not hold them accountable. for being anti-American when most of the time everything they're doing is anti-American.
So that just tells you what America is. So America say, "Hey, don't you kneel." America says, "You better accept that Confederate flag." They're good people on this side. All that stuff. What if we just say that is America? But as black people, it's harder to see what they're saying because we're saying what we're saying. We're saying, "Hey, help, justice, peace," and they're saying, "Motherfucker, this is America. Sit your ass down,
Down.
slave."
Yes, yes.
Do you understand?
That's what they want to say.
And this is
That's
what
how
they're
they want to
saying.
put
But
it.
yeah, yeah, march,
But
march.
no,
And they're
no.
like, "Motherfucker,
Yeah,
still
yeah,
marching."
yeah, yeah.
Shoot them. All right, use the rubber
Exactly.
bullets.
Exactly.
Use the rubber bullets today. You understand what I'm saying? So that's America. America
Yes.
is telling you who America is.
Is.
But black people, it's like saying, then it's like a black person telling a white person that it's like a black person saying that a white person isn't racist,
Yeah.
or not saying that they're racist, but you see shit different from a black person, and you can't tell. A black person might say, "No, he's not racist. I know him," but the white person might say, "But my grandfather was, and I got a little bit in me." But as black people, you're saying, "No, I know him. We grew up together.
We
We played
good. We
football
good.
together. We have drinks. This is my boy. He ain't racist." But we can't speak for the other half because we can't get in their skin. We gonna need to speak for us. And on our side, we're begging for justice. We're begging for peace. But on their side, they're like, here they come again. Don't they know what America is?
Is.
And we don't. We
We
can't
don't. We
see
don't.
what they see. And that's what it
Their
is.
vision for us has always been a certain, and it's slavery. That's the only purpose they've ever had for
And
us.
it's not just them, it's everybody and us.
Yeah,
It's
and we
everybody
and
and
we
us.
and we don't want to accept that. We want to have equality. We want to be free. We want to be
But
president. And there's nothing wrong with that.
okay, I
But
was just
that's
going to
not their
say.
vision for
No, no,
us.
I just want to make
So
sure
how do you
that we're
how do you
not
remedy that?
We're
How do
not
you
what?
that
where's
we're
the
not
middle
saying that
ground?
we need to just sit back and
We're never gonna sit
accept
back
Why?
and
Why?
that.
That's not
No,
we
no.
can't. We're gonna
No.
fight
I'm
We'll
forever.
just
fight
making
forever.
sure.
It's
But
just
but the
that
question is,
what are we fighting for?
shouldn't we just separate?
Yes.
Shouldn't we just
No,
have? Why not?
no.
Why don't we have? Give us 10 states.
No, that's ridiculous. You know why? Because once we get into 10 states, then we have to, before we can go to 10 states, just all of us, we have to fix the things that
We
are
was
in our
fixing. You
community.
remember Black Wall Street?
Give us 10 states. We'll
Yeah.
fix it.
You remember
Yeah.
Black Wall Street?
We know what Black Wall Street is, but before you talk about Black Wall Street, it's not just like it's them against us, it's them against us and us against us. And if you
Right.
take all of us and put us in 10 states, a lot
Okay,
of us are
let
going
me-
to
let me
kill
tell-
That's
us.
why we
Okay,
got to
so-
fix
so
us against us first.
That's what I
And
said.
that's why I said
my
Black
main
Wall
point.
Street.
My main point is they have agents that destabilize us. While we're mixed together, they're people paying us. Listen, all of our leaders were killed by people that
No,
looked
I get it.
like
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
leaders.
Absolutely.
They always have agents in our community to destabilize us. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't, when you cohabitate, when you're together, they're always gonna find instruments in our community to tear us apart. So we got to get away from that. So we don't have someone funding these people to destabilize us.
Right. I
So it was a start. It was a great start. When I again back to Black Wall Street, it was a great start. We were looking like we were going to take over a little state, a little community, then a state, and expand. And they quickly put a stop to that. And that was our start. And I believe that's where we got to start from. We got to start somewhere, and black-owned businesses, and getting ourselves in order first, and then getting our youths in order, our people in order before we do anything. Okay? And like you said, there is a lot of agents working against us, a lot of people working against us. Our own people are working against us. We got to get ourselves in order, and then we can move. Then we go to the next step.
As we wrap up the show, Black Lives Matter, is that a good? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing when it's used properly, but again, agents are working. We got double agents and secret agents doing horrible things in the name of Black Lives Matter, and
Like
they're not,
what?
like, I don't know, graffiti and
well,
fire
that's you're
and
talking about like the ASCAP and the other
Fake
the other
people.
groups that piggybacked on the momentum or the people that they say that drove into the communities and dropped off the bricks or dropped off the fireworks so that we could do
Whatever
it.
negative was done, I doubt if I believe that it wasn't done by a true Black Lives Matter personnel. I think all negative was done by secret agents looking to hurt people, looking to destroy the name.
Yeah, well, that's one of the arguments that I had with one of my friends. I'm all for marching, and if the natural cause of order turns into a riot, I get that. But not let's march on Sunday and after we march, let's go break into Gucci and all the top name brands
Right.
and take all their
I
stuff.
don't think you have energy to march for 100 miles and then say I'm gonna go break into
Yeah,
Gucci on
people
my hundredth
people
and
that do
eleventh
that,
mile. I don't think you're gonna do
people
that.
that do that are not freedom fighters.
Yeah,
Right. And that's my
It's two
point.
different type of people.
yeah,
You have people that burn cities down out of anger and frustration,
Right.
and you have people that are protesting trying to get their message across.
exactly.
Two different types of people. But our enemies try to mash them all in together
That's why you got
and,
to do it like this.
and roll them into one negative thing.
Right. So if you're gonna do negative, if you want to burn and loot and do all that, you do that. You pick your night and you go ahead and do that. You pick your week, you go ahead and do that.
No, you
You
don't
go
do
ahead and
that.
do what you do and get your point across.
No, you
You do
don't.
what you do.
No,
But
you
listen to
don't.
what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're gonna do that, you do that. But if you're gonna
No.
march for peace, stay away from the peaceful people who's doing the peaceful stuff. Do your negative stuff on your negative days. But don't do it on the same day because you're making it look like the good people are doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
He
We
said,
don't want to do that.
do it on your
Do it on
negative
your
days.
day. Do
We got
it.
negative,
You want to, yeah.
negative
Don't do
day
it on
Thursday.
Thursday. We got to call. You got a number. You need to separate the two because we're not the same. But Black Lives Matter, I believe in it. It's a good group. Continue to fight. I respect it. We got the NBA players behind us. We got all this. What I do respect about the sports that is getting out there, and that it got to be heard. And if you
Did they
fighting
give
it,
Kaepernick back his job yet?
no. But if you fighting against Black Lives Matter today, then we know that you are a true, I guess, should I say American?
Let me ask you, what about the
Because that's
black?
what
There are a lot of black people that don't like Black Lives Matter.
they're brainwashed. They're being silly. I had a person say, "Oh, come on, Black Lives Matter. Too much of it. Give it a break already." And when she said it, I was like, "All right, all right, all right, Miss Jones. I'll see you later, okay? Tomorrow." But some people just don't understand. A lot
What,
of
what do you
people
think?
just
What do you
don't.
think, downtown?
Well, I think there's a lot of controversy around Black Lives Matter, especially since now that the original founders apparently don't own Black Lives Matter or not at the
How do you
top.
own Black Lives
Well,
Matter?
so it's kind of like I think if the three of us started Black Lives Matter, and then later on we found out that people who look like our new vice president's
Mhm.
husband
Mhm.
run Black Lives Matter, doesn't that kind of change the momentum of the initiative? So you have a lot of people who were all for Black Lives Matter, and what's happened since then is I'm saying it's not even black people. I think
Our
that are
new
running.
vice president, you mean Kamala?
Kamala, I
Her husband is what?
It's white.
white.
All right.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is
I was
that
trying to say it without saying it.
I think when you support a movement, you were supporting the ideals. The organization in itself, what has not really set a platform. I don't know the leaders of. They don't hold press conferences. They don't sit there and tell us who the leaders and what their agendas are. You know, I think most of us know of Black Lives Matter just for just those three words that we think Black Lives Matter. Stop acting like we don't matter. So most of us are connected to the movement based on just the simple ideology
Yeah,
that
but
Black Lives Matter.
but
A lot of us don't understand the organization or
right,
don't know the organization.
right.
And I think the organization needs to step out and describe, okay, this is the organization this is who we are, what we are. I think as long as they kind of stay in the background, it's kind of smoke and
No,
mirrors.
Yeah, but I
listen.
think the reason why they stay in the background because the last time I looked and I tried not to until I have time to really research it. Black Lives Matter, I think they said, was founded or being ran by someone outside of the United States, which was a white male.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you let other people speak for you,
Yeah.
it's like a business, right? What happens? Google, Yelp will say, you type in an address, do you claim this business, right?
Yeah.
If you don't claim your own business, someone else
Look,
might claim your business.
You know that
So it's like you gotta, the owners of Black Lives, if the whoever
there's no
found it
owners.
need
It
to
shouldn't be any owners. You know, like the
step
the
up.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Mhm.
It's a document. Black Lives Matter. Forget the name. It just should be a document. It should say how Black Lives Matter and what should be entitled. Like, what do you
That's
call
that
it?
one
When,
document you were talking about.
like for example, when you're getting, they owe us for slavery and what is it called?
Reparations.
Reparations should be included in Black Lives Matter. Forget whether it's Black Lives Matter or not. Again, we're talking about the document. So no chokehold, no killing of blacks, reparation. Everything should be
But I
included
don't
in
think
this
right.
In this
documentation.
document,
It should be a
absolutely.
document, not
A
a
standard,
statement.
a standard that we're asking America to live by,
Exactly. And it needs
as
to be
opposed to
written.
being an organization and all this other
It
But
should
stuff.
be a law.
It should be
it's too late
a
for that.
declaration. It's
No,
never
it's not
too
too
late.
late for it because we
Well,
don't have it yet.
I mean,
We
it's,
need it.
I'm talking about in terms of it not being an organization, because it is an organization,
Well,
a
They
foundation.
can craft it. They can craft that document.
we need
Yeah.
a document. We need a law. We need a law. Forget the wording. We need a law. And we need to follow the guidelines. Police need to follow it. The people need to follow it. And we need to be paid. And everything else that, whatever
Well,
else you could come up
can't
with.
you can't give. So I'm of the mind that you can't give reparations to our community because a lot of us don't understand wealth and credit and how to.
Regardless of
spend it.
that,
That's
that'll
a
all be
whole
taught.
nother topic we're gonna get into next week. Thank you everyone for watching our lovely show. Thank you, Diddy,
Yes,
Donatella.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Reparations, that's an amazing topic. Just think about the $600 stimulus while we leave on that.
Yeah, which is turning
Very
into 400 supposedly.
No, I'm just saying in
Hold
terms
on,
of
$600.
reparations.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about
Stimulus?
reparations.
Or are you
That-
talking about?
You're
that-
saying
unemployment.
you're saying that giving people money can lead to a whole lot of giving black people
Reparations.
those $600 these past few months has not led to anything negative in my book. So let's hold on that and we'll continue next week as we talk about reparations. I don't see a problem with reparations.
Unless you take that $600 and you went out and bought a pair of sneakers.
Listen, you're talking about $600. They can do whatever they want with it, but $600 is not the reparation amount. It should be 4 more zeros or 8 more zeros behind that six
per person.
per household, per person, per black person, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
$600 is
America
not the
got
answer.
that money.
Yeah.
America is just a printing machine. We got that. No, they print trillions in minutes. We have the money.
Okay, so next week, come back. Maybe Diggy will come back and visit us, and hopefully we'll work out some more soundproofing.
Absolutely.
But this is what it is. It's a restaurant.
Sometimes we might do it outside. Sometimes, inside, whatever. Like we pick up and go with it, But thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
I
DJ Binet.